Hello there. We got three news today, two of them devblogs. The one we will be talking about in this video will be the M3A3 Bradley, called Upgraded Warhorse. Mm, well, looks well obviously like the other Bradley, but I think these set plates are new. Anyways, I'm sure it will tell us what was improved or changed. The M3A3 was a late modification of the legendary American Bradley fighting vehicle developed in the late 1990s based on the experience gained from the Gulf War. Soon seasoned American tankers will have the chance to command this upgraded Bradley modification, coming as a part of the next major warfare update. Um, it's a further developed variant of the M3 Bradley, featuring substantial improvements in both firepower and protection. I suppose it will get new, more power for towers, improved protection, upgraded engine. So but it depends on if it's gonna be more mobile on the added protection. Okay, yeah, here it says cons increased weight, worse mobility. So the uprated engine isn't really doing all that much of the mobility is worse. Let's see if the protection is worth the lower mobility. But I suppose the towers are definitely an improvement. History. Okay, that is very short. Um, Following the Gulf War in the early 1990s, US engineers developed a new modification of the widely used M3 Bradley in order to incorporate improvements derived from operational experience gained during the conflict. As such, the Bradley received numerous upgrades to its electronic systems, including a new fire control system, a laser rangefinder, and a thermal imaging for the commander, along with other improvements of the vehicle's protection and firepower. Yeah, I mean, with an autocannon, you probably don't really need much range finding, as most of your tank kills will probably be over your 80 gems. But I suppose that could be useful if you have an ally with you that has yet to research the laser rangefinder or maybe doesn't even get it. And the thermal is definitely good. Well, for the Bradley, not for the stuff it faces. The M3A3 modification of the Bradley started being shipped to the first US Army units in 1998, with the first vehicles officially entering service in 2000. By late 2010, well over 3,300 Bradleys were converted to the A3 standard, and the vehicle continues serving as one of the cornerstones of the US armored units today. Huh. Often the M3A3 Bradley will be a new unit, arriving at the top ranks in the American Ground Forces tree, further expanding its light tank line. Compared to the existing base modification of the Bradley in-game, the M3A3 brings with it several notable improvements, which many veteran American tankers are sure to appreciate. That being said, let's take a closer look at what this BOT has on offer, shall we? One of the most noteworthy improvements made to the Bradley of the A3 variants is the increased armor protection, making it much more formidable opponent against other vehicles of the same time. While the Bradley's protection... Actually, let's... Ah, okay, hold up. Let's look at the picture first. I always like looking at pictures. Yeah, I think that's a nice model. Anyways, while the Bradley's protection received a major improvement, its firepower wasn't neglected either, despite still using the same 25mm chain gun as its primary weapon. The Bradley's missile armament was upgraded to be able to launch more advanced tower missiles. As such, the M3A3 can now launch two types of tower missiles, the Tower 2A and the Tower 2B. Both missiles represent more capable variants of the familiar Tower 80 gem, where the former possessing a tandem warhead capable of defeating reactive armor, but the latter represents the extremely deadly top-down attack version of the tower, able to mortally strike enemies by being covered through their thinly armored roofs. Oh boy. The M3A3 upgrades to firepower and substantial improvements in protection caused the vehicle to become much heavier, and as a result, thus the vehicle's combat weight increased to 29.9 tons. Out of the Bradley did receive an uprated 600 horsepower engine, only helps to somewhat offset the weight increase. Overall, however, the Bradley's mobility will still be lower than that of its predecessor, where it's much heavier. Regardless, most takers will likely find the improvements to protection and firepower enticing enough to justify losing some mobility in this trade-off. I mean, the it doesn't even say how much armor it gets, so I don't know about that. I don't I have no idea how much the new armor stuff will actually improve it, but we will see, I suppose. And here it just says, okay, it gets the, I think, scouting stuff, and otherwise, okay, here, namely the vehicles come equipped with laser rangefinder as well as an independent commander's thermal sight, allowing players to utilize thermal vision and binocular view and thus more easily spot enemies in both day and nighttime conditions. So you're not limited to your gunner, I suppose. I don't know, I don't play much up there, so it just says that it will come soon to him. Well, it's probably not really anything for me because while I'm playing the Americans, I'm nowhere near that. Its model is nice enough though, so I suppose I give it that. Um, Otherwise I don't really have anything for this thing to say. I mean, would figure that the Americans have enough vehicles at that VR, but apparently having 5 Abrams alone isn't enough. Um, so yeah. What I'm trying to say with that is that maybe, while it is a nice addition, there are probably measures that would have needed it more. But, well, I'm not the dude making these decisions, and in the end, I don't think that this is gonna break anything or whatever. It's just a nice addition, I suppose, for the Americans. So if you're an US player, I suppose it's time for you to rejoice. Otherwise, I have absolutely nothing to add for this thing. Will maybe eventually at some point have it, because I run out of other stuff to research. But, yeah. Also sorry for maybe sounding a bit off, but, I am quite sick, so that will also stick with us for a while. Otherwise, goodbye.